so your signification. Today, the Queen of Swords came up as your signification, a decisive, intelligent woman. Your logic is really well developed, and maybe right now you're having more communication with women. Yes, well, glyphocana. You can look at it intuitively and even read something personal for yourself. Because, well, only you personally know about yourself. Yes, and I'm kind of like a guide. Maybe I'm more interested in my career right now. After all, some kind of career card. More about career. Maybe sometimes you could also show surgeons or injections, some sharp instruments, as an option. Yes, that could also come up. But in any case, they're showing you, yes, you have higher powers. They say one of yours is healthy, and you know very well that you are a smart woman. And there are already some people who have appreciated this. They consult with you, so the significance is that you should know this. They have appreciated it. And often, of course, people come to you with questions, and most likely with some urgent questions. Or maybe you are a surgeon, a doctor, a nurse yourself, I don't know. Yes. Or maybe you really have a sharp mind, depending on your profession. You could be a manager, managing something, or people come to you with certain questions. For example, an accountant, for instance. Yes, also some clear, sharp questions. Yes, a mathematical mind is suitable. Someone is asking, or maybe in your family at home, there is a woman whom everyone always consults. Yes, like, Mom, tell me, how is this? How? What? Well, in general, you know this about yourself clearly, well, and clearly about yourself. What else can you say about the Queen of Swords? That you have definitely faced crises and sharp situations in life. So, if you start remembering your past, you talk so much. I've already had so many difficult and crisis situations in my life that now I even look at them with laughter. Because, well, the Queen of Swords, she just cracks them like nuts. Yes, with a smile. You might even tell someone about it. For example, someone comes up to you in shock and says, "A nightmare happened to me. I got into an accident. My car is wrecked. Where do I get the money?" And you are like, look at it from another point of view. You're alive. The rest is just metal. Luck is on your side, so you're right here. Well, laws, by the way. No matter what profession you have, you know the laws. Because you handled them like nuts so easily, some complicated life situations. You even look at them with a bit of humor now. That's why people around you, who sigh and groan about a difficult situation, after talking to you, they become like you. Oh, that's true. You really can solve it. There are actually a lot of positives. For example, I'm still alive. I can solve this. And even more than that. Yes, this car is old, but I'll get an insurance payout. I even have insurance. So I'll buy myself a new one. And just like that, there are all these positives. And it seems like, suddenly, the situation just disappeared. But it hasn't disappeared. You need to deal with it clearly. You'll choose a plan. And you can sort everything out step by step. And this is something you know for sure. See, you're already writing exactly about me. So, it means that with the very first card, you already got into the flow. Oh, in the women's team at Medtechnica Medinstruck. Well, look, but still, here it is. In any case, wherever you work, the main thing is that your mind is sharp. Yes, even if you work somewhere else. Maybe you're just appreciated at home. But in any case, the most important thing is a sharp mind. But on the negative side, it could also show that maybe there were court cases, some legal proceedings, but nobody really likes courts here. Yes, it's very difficult, even if you are the plaintiff. And for the defendants, it's not fun at all. And for the plaintiffs, well, it's still tough. In general, we don't like this kind of thing. People don't really like running around to courts. But if someone has made it their profession and goes to court to defend others, that's also an option. This can also happen quite often. But on the negative side, it might show a divorced woman who decided to focus on her career, or a woman who found herself in a difficult situation. She ended up alone. And she, well, is simply forced to focus on her career, because, well, it's still some kind of career card. More so. As an option, still. Before karmic eclipses, you might have an urgent career issue or need some kind of surgical intervention if you're not working, just like we have. A girl wrote here that she works with medical equipment, with doctors, and so on. Or if this is not your profession, but rather some kind of health factor, there could be a similar situation here as well. Let's just draw one more card. Well, not just a card, as usual. We'll lay out a whole line. Again, a sword card. You're thinking over two issues again. Not only that, right now, as the Queen of Swords, Alexander, you're thinking again, trying to resolve something about two topics, maybe about two people. You see, on one hand, it's like you're weighing two thoughts in one hand. Maybe on one hand it's you, and on the other hand, it's another person. Yes, maybe there really are two people you're constantly thinking about. All right, let's see. Well, that's just a crisis from the past. I wouldn't say it's particularly strong. It would be strong like this. It just happened, like a cup just broke. But now it seems like it's already over. Or, again, like I'm talking about you. Maybe you've already gone through so many crises in your life that when someone, a person, maybe a girl, it doesn't matter who, tells you about their crisis, maybe you're a good psychologist, and now you're thinking about this crisis moment, and you sort everything out so neatly that the person thinks, well, what kind of crisis is this? You just need to get rid of all this and rebuild your life. It's easy to do. If I haven't died, right? I mean, I'm still alive, so there's still a chance. So, maybe it's like that right now. Let's say it's something from the past. And this card shows that you've been thinking about it for quite a while already. Even though, just look at yourself, you're such a cheerful person. Some story from the past. Oh, maybe after all, this is karma, a karmic card. Yes, where we spent a long, long, long time building something. I don't know. Family relationships, a business, an apartment, a house. Some rules. Rules from a long time ago. So that means something collapsed a long time ago. And now at least the rules need to be changed. Something needs to change. To revive, to repair, maybe, well, for example, to revive the body, to repair it, to revive it, maybe to revive some profession, to start repairs in the house again. This is a career card to revive. To put an end to some lingering phenomenon, look, the Ten of Swords shows most of you have decided and aren't restricted anymore, as the Eight of Swords suggests. There are two swords left, and you're considering leaving those restrictions. You've already come out of the crisis. You came out a long time ago, or maybe your people no longer have any kind of crisis. There are just two little things left to resolve, and in general, that's the end of it, and it seems like there's a sense of relief. So, who else are you, according to these cards? Can we say you're a crisis manager? Have you ever solved a crisis for yourself, like 100%? Here's the question I have. What about for others? Well, if you have a family, then 100% in the family. Well, the Tower card means everything. That's where we live by the same rules. At least in the family, we try to live by the same rules. If someone doesn't want to follow the family rules, that's exactly where we argue. Yes. But there are also the rules of society, for example, the employer's rules, the country's rules, international rules even. Yes, we have courts, our countries have those too. And in general, people turn to them if there's a conflict of some kind of international law. Who knows? Maybe you've encountered that? By the way, I recently encountered a conflict between Russian and American law. I mean, it used to work before, due to recent actions, as you understand. They tightened the immigration laws there. We are already all citizens, citizens of both countries. It's just that now these countries don't want to recognize anything, and basically, when they started giving us a hard time here, we had to redo all the documents, which, let me see, more than 24 Now I'll tell you, 25 years ago it all started, and I had to redo all of them. Oh, it was a nightmare, but everything was resolved. Really resolved in a wonderful way. Honestly, I prayed directly to St. Nicholas the Wonder Worker because I thought, well, how did I, such a small and insignificant person, end up caught between the grindstones of two countries? Yes, they were arguing among themselves over there, and here I am, just a little bug, a tiny creature, and somehow I had to deal with it all. And St. Nicholas the Wonder Worker really did help. Truly. At Christmas, my daughter received all her documents, and on her birthday was January 18, she received all her documents, and they even changed her passport. And everything was done, everyone quieted down. And, well, that's how it was. I'm just sharing happy stories with you, because, well, you see, you're also such a smart, happy woman. That's it. Well, yes, you crack crises like nuts, and there's still something left here. But I actually wanted to tell you about this card. This is the Phoenix bird. Well, you know this about yourself for sure, that you are like a phoenix bird. Most likely the tower card is lying nearby. Maybe you lost property, sold property, or, for example, moved from one country to another and started over from scratch there, right? You bought, found work, in another country. Well, or for example, it's not necessarily like that. Not everyone goes through the same things, right? Not everyone has it the same way. And first of all, they don't want to. For example, my eldest daughter doesn't want to go anywhere. She's happy here. Well, and for example, maybe moving from one city to another. Like, for example, selling property here or, well, buying a house somewhere else. Turning your life upside down. It's like a big upheaval. Maybe some fires. Something broke. Things got destroyed, like starting from scratch. And with the sword card, by the way, if you read it negatively, I'll say it again. In the negative sense, it could mean divorces or something like that. You kept building and building a family. Well, then you revived the family. You know how to bring it back. You know how to revive it. And then you just went and built another family. Basically, you are indestructible, unsinkable, like a phoenix, like a submarine. Really, I just want to say this. Maybe something could happen to the body, like getting into an accident. The body could be damaged. Get into an accident. Let's say, in such an accident, people usually don't survive. But you did, let's say. And not only did you survive and come back to life, but it doesn't have to be a car accident. We can have an accident inside our body. It could just be boom, and some terrible malfunction, and you survived. Maybe there were some attacks on you too. We need to open up about this, but let's at least follow this line for now. It's just like a phoenix. Do you know this about yourself? There's also just fire here, really. Maybe there were some fires, and this story might show that you foresaw it, maybe even saw it in a dream. Let's say suddenly something is burning. Let's say there were some short circuits. You saw them in advance. You sensed them behind your back, like you felt the attackers behind you. You felt them with your back. Some miracles happen to you, like premonitions. When dangerous people, for example, evil people, are staring at you. Yes, that could also happen. Short circuits. Oh, there's some man here? Or maybe they're showing you as someone with a strong character, that you can put such people in their place. It's like they try to be tough with you, but it doesn't work out for them. So you know how to handle it. But you learned to handle it after some aggression was directed at you. Or was it really from a man? Aggression for the scans? It just doesn't say who. Well, it needs to be hidden. To show you as a good student. Well, this again shows that you have an excellent brain. You know this very well. To reveal. Let's go ahead and reveal this phoenix bird for now. What kind of closures are here? Well, this is like a rebirth, right after heavy losses, closures, heavy losses. Oh Lord, closures. And here is also the Ten of Swords. Look, here's the Ten of Swords. And when I reveal losses, I get this tower, the Ten of Swords. So here they are, lying right next to each other like this. You can just look at the glyph of this arcana. It's like some kind of disaster has struck your home, your place of residence. For the girls from Ukraine, for those watching, it's obvious what happened. But not everyone understands right away. Yes, maybe the whole world is watching here. Maybe. There's some kind of discord in the family, with people. Something started going wrong at home. You know, it's like everything started falling apart, like the Ten of Swords. And maybe you can admit what it means, and then it just kept happening. One thing after another, one thing after another. For example, someone in the house. Well, let's say an elderly person passed away. Okay, that's understandable. You spent money on the funeral, let's say, but then right away, for example, you need to do repairs, and you have to work. Note, one thing after another, God, God, God. The tank keeps going and going, going and going. It's like this is what you were dealing with here. That's the story. Like one thing after another, one thing after another, one thing after another. Maybe there was some overbearing person, like an octopus, who wanted to take everything away, always demanding something. What else? People will say, oh, what? Is this something hereditary? Oh, girls, did you solve some kind of ancestral problem that your ancestors couldn't? Look, you're sitting in the cemetery, and here they're showing a hurricane, like this. Your ancestors, the spirits of your family, are looking down on you from the heavens. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's visible here. Many have died or many perished in the family. Maybe there too. I don't know. Yes. It's like a family chart came up. Well, yes. Oh, Lord. Well, let's say, I don't know, maybe there were some difficult military times. Maybe during the Great Patriotic War or during the Revolution something happened, right? Where your ancestors lost something or died, even lost their lives. This is still a painful illness, possibly some family situation. Well, you were able to fix something, to finish it, to really put an end to some family problem. Child. The child who worked through, can you imagine? It just happened that way. Some family problem. He worked through it. Luck, you bring luck to your family. You brought luck to your family. Look, pointless worries. They couldn't work through the broom. They argued because of it. Or there were always some conflicts. Pointless worries. And the child, oh, and behind him. Behind the child, look, Lev. And the sun rules Leo. Also a symbol of the child, the clairvoyant. The one who knows clearly. You have this kind of logic. You understand perfectly well that you are, well, a logical person. You calculate things. Yes, here they are again. But this card, it speaks of help from higher powers. And you know this too. And you were called into your family line to help. And most likely, in your ancestral system, you already held some high hierarchical position. And since many ancestors, here they are, have already passed away, yes, they tried, they fought, they tried to get through something, to overcome illnesses, maybe some problems. Well, the Four of Swords, maybe it's really true. They took away the stability of life, the stability of the swords. Yes, it was hard to live. They took away their property because of that. There was stress. They got sick there. Yes. But still, you are like a helper from higher powers. So apparently, in your own hierarchical family system, you may not know this for sure. Maybe you sense it. You see, the cards said so too. Yes, you rely on logic. But when it comes to all sorts of feelings and premonitions, you start to analyze, look for information, and clarify things, whether it's true or not, whether it can be proven or not. But the very fact that this clover came up for you means that you are a messenger of higher powers. That is, in the ancestral system of hierarchy, there were higher ones, and most likely your family called upon you, like someone prayed, "Yes, Lord, please help us solve something." And that's why you were sent here, to resolve some ancestral issues. Well, you've already done that. Again, right now you're sitting over some kind of two swords, thinking, well, I think you have some goals related to Leo here, don't you? Oh, by the way, we have karmic eclipses. Well, the first one, which is about to start now, is Aquarius Virgo. It finishes this Pisces Virgo axis, and the next one will be Pisces Leo, or Leo Pisces, it doesn't matter. The axis. So, I think you are just I think you are thinking about new goals, but you aren't letting go of some old, long-standing problems. You still need to resolve them. But you see, for us, it's like some kind of dilemma is coming to an end. Well, it's not really like that. It's like I finished everything exactly and clearly, and boom, a little screen popped up, and a new path began. We still have something spinning there. The old stuff. Yes. We're solving things here, and we've already entered something new. And it's like that, yes. It's so even, smooth. Not like in cartoons, right? It's even and smooth. You brought some kind of luck, maybe through clover. You often undervalue it, but of course you understand that you helped many in your family. Well, that's called just a little. Well, I helped just a little. Yeah, well, I don't see myself as the king of beasts, and I definitely don't see myself as the leader of my family yet, so. Well, by the way, maybe someone already does see it. Editor? Why not? Well, some people have those kinds of thoughts at work, after all. Maybe in their career, you say, either I'll achieve something in my career, or maybe some smart thoughts. By the way, in my family, I really do make some wise and interesting decisions. Yes, maybe here. Well, it's either work, I earned more, or well, I anchored myself in something, so yes, interesting. How? Well, maybe even so. But still, with the clover, it's always an understatement. Just like we underestimate the role of higher powers, like how they're involved here. So the card itself fell, but it didn't flip over. Well, you're saying, yes, there's something I've achieved here, and it's already recognized by society. I had to fight a lot for this, and people argued with me. Many don't acknowledge it. Well, it's like, you have such a bright soul. You keep shining and shining. You continue on. All right. Interesting. Well, something came up here. In general, these are the cards of questions that came up. Try it. Well, let's remove it. Or Norman. What are you thinking about? Let's put it this way. Macro management. Well, this card also says you're on a new path. To cope, you need to resolve something from the past. Well, basically, I already can. That's how it sounds. Basically, I can. Most of the time, I'm a magician, so I can somehow handle things here even on my own. And on the second one, on your other hand, basically, the poppy, it's already your poppy. It's already taken a step onto a new path. And on your other hand, which is lying. The child is a fool. Maybe someone has one. You are really a new, completely new update. And here you are telling yourself, either the child's hands are still tied, or my hands are tied when it comes to children. Or maybe my hands are just tied for something new. I need to finish the old things first, then move on to the new, yes. Or maybe my child just hasn't grown up yet. I don't know. Something like that. The main thing is, there's only one hand. You've already taken a step somewhere, and you're even saying, I can handle it here. But over there, it's not certain. And you're even thinking, maybe I need to free myself. Sometimes the fool also represents freedom. Well, maybe for someone it really is just as simple as, I'll finish something for my child, and that's it. I'm free, and I'll start taking care of my own things soon. And, well, maybe on the other hand, you, like a child, are saying, well, I'm not a child anymore. I'll never be one again. So that's it already, right? Interesting. It needs to be revealed. The poppy is easier to interpret here. There's just some kind of confidence. As if to solve this dilemma, you need to come up with some truly innovative idea, one that you haven't thought of before. I don't know, maybe you've already come up with it, but you say, I can't do it yet. You say it will be tough. I'm considering it. But still, it's pretty tough. Will it be too hard for me? Something? Somehow my hands are still tied for now. Well, it's easier to put it on the kids. But still, this is our creation, some new project, maybe a renewal for ourselves. It's kind of tough. There, go ahead and say it. I need to find a way to somehow make it easier. Then I will achieve my goal. Maybe even finances are involved here, because it's the Seven of Pentacles, to ease the financial burden. Maybe to pay off the mortgage on a new apartment. Well, it's true, that's how it is. For a new apartment, people sometimes pay a mortgage for 30 years. For some, it's not even new anymore, but it's still not yours yet. Yes, once she signed the documents, the new apartment became mine, even though I'd lived there for 30 years. Well, I'm just joking. It's just that in life, everyone will have different dilemmas. Here, it seems like you either need to hold on or somehow make the payments, the contributions, easier. Basically, finish something difficult, and then suddenly I achieve it. Yes. And then there's some kind of harmony. You seem to be going overboard with making things hard and complicated right now, trying to do something difficult, and you realize it. And here's your signification. Study. It's not for nothing that higher powers are guiding you. You're a very good student. No matter what happens in the world, we always tend to go to extremes. There's always some kind of imbalance. And here too, there's an imbalance, a lack of moderation. Has it become hard for you for some reason? Everyone has a different reason. Age, yes. You understand that I'm not a child anymore. I can't do everything like a mountain goat. Jumping around and conquering every peak is already hard for me. I need some helpers to jump up to the peaks, and I would tell them where to go and what to bring. Yes. Well, again, basically, to restore some kind of harmony, balance. You study a topic, some kind of topic. Well, they just say here that you're a good student. Basically, no matter how old you are, your mind works well. You know, dementia isn't something you need to worry about. That's what I'll say. Higher powers say, if you're afraid that by the time you reach 80, something might start bothering you, like remembering some things and forgetting others. That won't happen here, because you're always reading something, studying, talking to someone, or just thinking things over, analyzing. Basically, your brain is always working, constantly forming new neural connections. When you learn something new, that's a new neural connection being built, which means your cognitive functions are active. If you keep learning something new, even look, they tell elderly people to learn something new, like study languages, solve crosswords, or something else. Yes, to keep your brain active. That's not a threat to you, that's also your gift, something good. That's how higher powers see you. You should know this about yourself, but there might be some worries here. Well, a little stress. Some stress about what if everything ends? What if I suddenly start to lose my intellectual grip? Okay, and let's add a little more. Let's raise it up. Okay, I'll move on to the next part, to be continued. I just closed what I started. Good afternoon. Yes. Dnipro Jeka. Greetings to you, Alenka. While I'm shuffling, I can talk with you. Well, yes, that's exactly what the cards are showing. A thirst for new knowledge. I'm just reading your comments, girls. Pleasure? Even you girls. You say you get pleasure, and here it is. It's clear you get pleasure from knowledge. Well, that's why you came to this reading. Self-discovery also brings you pleasure, with joy. So, look, it's a pleasure for me, after all. I'm reading for you. I'm reading for you. Yes, you also get pleasure. The pleasure of enjoying things. Yes, that's how the higher powers see you. Well, no illusions, you see. You get rid of illusions, of illusory people. Or maybe you dispel fears, illusions, doubts in people, and that also brings you pleasure. In general. Oh, and what's this? The Hermit reversed in this one? Well, sometimes it can be like, am I overestimating too much? Well, sometimes you feel ashamed, and you stop yourself. You close off opportunities so that you don't come off as selfish, like as if I'm a know it all, like I know better. You start to realize that there are some people who, for example, will never know this. It's just not given to them at all. Well, and as an option, you can also close off from such people. Just don't communicate with those who are always living in illusions. Don't understand. Don't want to learn anything. Live like a worm. Yeah. Well, as long as they can eat and reproduce. Well, just pure instincts. Because you have some logic. Well, I can really see your logic and your intuition too. Makes me want to be reborn. Well, those are instincts, really. You see, there are some base instincts, but you have some other kind of instincts. You have an interesting instinctive feeling that help you get out of illusions, which are somehow so strange. The cards say, uh-huh, here they are, I see. Well, yes, very much so. You have the moon, a very strong intuition, but one that you need to keep studying all the time. You haven't trusted since birth because the moon has given you a lot of stress. And the moon is emotions, emotions. And about other people, is there anything else? You've always sensed things with your back, and that has saved you. It's like an instinct for self-preservation for you. Well, with a strong moon, your intuition is very powerful, but you have to study the moon. Because it's like that. It stirs up the water. It stirs up emotions so much that sometimes, when emotions are strong, you actually fall into illusions, meaning you can't think logically at all. For example, you fall madly in love, your heart is pounding, hormones are off the charts, and then everything just goes wild. It happened. To study these things of yours. Yes, premonitions, sometimes some fears. Yes, you could feel with your back that nothing could happen here, that no one believes you. People started arguing or something else. Yes, they didn't believe. Well, right here, like some old folks, adults might not have trusted you since birth, like, why are you starting this? And it happened just like you said. But still, it seems like you needed to work through this anxious topic. And as I understand it, you did work through it, but it still causes you a bit of stress, even right now. So you still continue to worry. But now it's calmer, and your logic remains intact. You constantly study and learn something new to give yourself a foundation and support. I still don't get this part, but we'll keep exploring until we figure it out. That's how I'd put it. Well, the birthday chart means that someone was born who can revive the family line. Look, the moon before birth. Maybe you gave birth to children who will revive the family line. On your birthday, you fulfilled the family's dream. I think you gave birth to children who also have the same gift of foresight. Of course, I don't know if you know this or not. Be able to fulfill your own wishes and the wishes of others. Why? Because your gut feeling, your intuition, is strong. And if you study psychology, it will be even better. Maybe you've even studied it already. Maybe. The mother of fear. Well, maybe there was some kind of fear before, or we see attacks directly on you women. We see. The only thing is that they couldn't do anything. But there were some troubles. And most likely, it was this story that made you turn to esotericism to study this topic. Maybe even some kind of magical ones. Or also a lot of magical practices. Runes, tarot. Oh Lord, some kind of magic, like candle magic. I don't know. A lot of tools, right? Ritual magic. I prefer ritualism more. By the way, those who have strong logic also seem to need some kind of rules, some kind of rituals. I think you also like rules and rituals. So, for example, not everything should be all mixed up, in chaos, in some kind of creative mess, even though the moon gives a lot of creative energy. So, are you a creative person? I don't know. Maybe you play beautiful music, play instruments, write poetry, paint pictures, draw, or do cross-stitch embroidery. I don't know. Maybe when you were younger. Well, maybe when you were younger. Information technology technologies, some kind of computer graphics, filming, videos, movies. I don't know. There are so many ways, right? The creative process? Oh, cooking food. Well, in general, the moon has a lot of that. Its own cycles, a little bit, by the way. Someone there, someone will have it soon. Thank you. That's the end of the cycle. Thank you. And you can make it longer if you want, right in the chart. They say if you get really upset about your cycle, you can have a cycle disorder. Well, a woman's day, well, 28 days. By the way, that's the influence of the moon, or, so to speak, the stars. That very astrology. Can you imagine if there was no moon, what would happen to the female cycle? And not just that, what would happen to the tides? Yeah, our whole ecosystem would be thrown off. Probably with blood pressure too, since our blood pressure drops at night and all that. That's also connected. The moon has such a strong influence, and the sun does too, with all those flares and magnetic storms. People get headaches and all sorts of things. And when is it ever normal? Even the cycles of the sun, warm weather, cold weather, the seasons, everything grows. Can you imagine if these cycles didn't exist? Well, you have cycles too. I can tell right away, painful stresses, problems can happen. With your female organs, I would say more like some kind of hormonal problems. Well, if you want, you can actually prolong your youth. I'm telling you right away, even with some drinks, decoctions, tinctures. 3 cards are saying this. Well, I mean a witch. What is a witch? In the past, witches were midwives. They delivered babies according to the moon. They also followed the cycle of maturation. Oh, there could have been some problems or stresses related to childbirth. Editor. Oh, well, you really have it all here. Look, are you a mom? A crisis manager, also known as a mother or a psychologist. Like I said, you could become a psychologist, or in the family, act as a crisis manager, or really. What kind of mother? Ha ha ha. Subtitles by Priestess Verkovnaya. Look, you can study magic, or really anything you want, even a creative profession. You can make your dream come true. Well, for example, If you want to study magic, study magic. Luna becomes a high priestess. As she studies, she becomes a high priestess. For example, I studied under the high priestess, Lori Cabot. Can you imagine? She studied her whole life. Well, it's clear why Oprah, yes, she interviewed her, why she's really recognized in the United States, and she's even officially recognized at City Hall, at the mayor's office. Well, she registers marriages between witches, warlocks, and so on, or just registers marriages for people who are loyal to New Age, meaning the philosophy that sees every woman as a little bit of a witch. Thank you. Well, there are some stresses here, and there can be stresses with children too. Why are there stresses? Because you worry a lot. You're such a worrier. But over the years, you've really learned to make clear decisions. Listen, you know what? I think this card is reversed into the Hermit, because usually, especially the girls who have been coming to me for a long time, you usually get the upright Hermit, but here, bam, the reversed Hermit came up. And this can show, like I laid out here, that the fool, something new is there. Most likely you haven't had this kind of experience yet. You're exploring some new topic in your life, and you haven't had this kind of experience before. Well, even just starting with the body, for example. Yes, for someone the cycle is about to end. Someone hasn't had that kind of experience, and I'm sitting here, studying how to deal with it, what medicine to take to keep my hormones in balance, what herbs to drink. Maybe your child hasn't had that experience yet. You haven't gone through your child separating from you and living on their own, while I already live separately. That's also a kind of personal experience, something close to us, and it happens to all of us in cycles. Or maybe something more global. Do you have any experience with that? I personally think that you also clearly realize this. I haven't experienced anything like that in my life yet, so based on my past experience, I can't make a sudden decision like that. I haven't had anything like this happen to me before. I'm just sitting and observing. By the way, this actually fits me better. What do you think? Isn't it good that we're in a live chat with you? Tamarachka. And we'll definitely do it for the purpose as well, thank you. Well, it's an inner conflict, Anechka. With a moon like that, with a moon like that. Well, honestly, sometimes it feels like you're going to die, doesn't it? Sometimes it happens, especially if you look at whose birthday and moon it is here. If you gave birth to someone or, well, gave birth to some project, I don't know, built a new house, got a new mortgage, well, gave birth to something new. You'd go crazy if some kind of crisis started here, even a small one. But now, that's great. You won't go crazy anymore. Look, you know how to keep these emotions under control, not let this stress get out of hand. I think you've had such strong emotions. Really? Well, probably. Well, you had to learn. Well, that's like a 9 or 10, right? Well, you could say you've learned to restrain yourself in these strong emotions, these feelings. Well, by 9 or 10 years old, definitely, thank you. I think, starting from about this age, and then further on, you just kept learning. Thank you. Look, it's just not clear here. Maybe you were born, excuse me, as a hermit? Like, I'm such a wise person. I sat alone, thought about it since childhood, yes, hid somewhere away from everyone, and just calmed down, worked through myself intuitively. I know with my back, yes, how to be reborn. I know with my back how to get rid of these emotions. Strong, really intense, just scary, and then bam. And I fulfilled my dream. And I feel so good, and I'm like, whew, now I'm sharing my good mood with everyone. La la la, the girl just ran off. Everything is fine with me. But maybe the parents didn't even know how wildly I was struggling inside. And for a certain period, I think that's exactly how it was. Let's lay out 2 more cards here. Either you're having a hard time with some man right now, or you took, well, again, it shows either you're having a hard time with some man, this card here, or it's at work, or together. Well, it's the 4 of Wands. It's hard in the apartment, at home, with real estate, or it's hard in the same office. Or maybe you took on some kind of unbearable burden. You took on this Russian attitude like, I'm in charge. Well, I don't know. I'm the boss. I started a business. Well, something career related. So here are two career things. Maybe I moved into a new profession, got a higher position, took on some kind of male responsibility myself. It's hard for me to invest money. Maybe, or it's hard for me to earn this money. Some men can't even do that. Well, again, they say you have a plan. Or maybe your boss gave you some kind of plan. Maybe a surgeon has a plan, sword cards. There's a sword queen here and a sword king. And maybe, look, if these are other people, although we're looking at your story, maybe some bureaucrats raise the bar for you and you say, well, damn, it's hard. It's hard to pay for this, to get these documents done. I don't know, to get some kind of quota. And this one, the card simply says that here and now you've already received something. Well, the card didn't fall out from here. You just keep learning. You've already received this resource, and you keep learning. For the celebration of life, what is it called? Thank you. So what did I want to see? I wanted to see, look, Jen. But most of the questions, well, I think I've already given the main answers. Thank you. Well, you can thank you again. Here, you have like they show with hermits, reversed ones. Take your time to consider it so you can make a wise decision on a new, unfamiliar path. With the Page of Pentacles, they show they still duplicate the card. Here's the Page of Pentacles, here's the page. A good student. Well, sit and think. You're doing the right thing, either studying or taking care, showing care, making some small payments maybe, according to the Page of Pentacles. It seems like I haven't made a completely wise decision yet about how to free myself. For now, I keep crying and crying, but I don't see you crying here. For now, I'm just doing something minor, fulfilling some obligations, or maybe studying. But here it's more like I'm studying, as if I'm fulfilling some obligations. What I will show, the territories of Yaptic Low should to be continued. Some kind of human laws. So I didn't say it for nothing, you know? Russian legislation. Oh my God. Why Russian? I don't know. I said it because people from all different countries are watching me. It just came out automatically. I actually meant human laws in general. I wanted to say, depending on the country you live in, you know, you might have some contracts or obligations there. This is called human judgment. It's people's karma. You know it well. In it, we weigh things, like you say. I can't just free myself from something right away. I'm bound by some kind of responsibility, by human justice. It doesn't mean that you've been sentenced and you're serving time. But if you put it that way, yes, I'm serving time. Because, well, I'm making some payments. Because, I don't know, I took out a mortgage, so I'm serving my time. Little by little. Or, for example, I gave birth to a child, a student, and I'm serving my time. This is human justice, according to justice. So the court didn't make a decision for me. This is normal. People think this way. You weigh things and say, I have to show care to teach them how to live without me the right way. So something is still tipping the scales a little this way. And if you take from there, it's just not possible to break free right here and now. You have to do something here, add a drop here, add a drop there. Well, or for example, the apartment poo is registered to me. I have to pay annual taxes, right? They exist in every country, yes. And there are monthly payments too. There are also payments for water, repairs for your own property, yes. That's how it is. If I don't do this, or I don't know, if I pay, while I'm working, I pay taxes. And until I can retire, I need to earn some points so that I can get a higher pension later. Well, now the lawmakers are also looking at these cards for you. The reversed hermit clearly means a new path. You still don't know how things will be for you there, but do you want it to be harmonious? So, one of your talents is understanding human karma, because not many people understand human karma. That is, all your actions have consequences, either harmonious ones, which make us happy, or disharmonious ones, for which we scold ourselves or others. All of this is called the self. And look, justice is the eighth arcana. It exactly resembles the eighth house, the horoscope of crises, major finances, responsibility, where we are responsible for other people and some other people are responsible to us. Well, let's say we made a contract, an agreement, and according to the contract, for example, I give my time every day. Well, to my boss, yes, I do something professional there, and he is responsible to me and to the law. Should everyone, well, not every month, but in every country, celebrate weekly in the United States? Or will he break labor laws, send me checks and pay for me? Well, there are different services too. Yes, there are tax obligations. And, well, in some countries, it's twice a week. Well, in general, that's the kind of story it is. But it's not just like when there are some contracts, it's still just called human relations. So, one of your gifts is being a genuine person. It's hard for you. Maybe there's even some kind of crisis going on right now. I don't know. In the parent child relationship. Well, yes, well, Mom, and you, as a mother. Some new path has started. You don't really know how things are here yet. But at the same time, you remain a real person. There's no need to take you to court. You see what I mean? Thank you. Maybe you are the one who needs to take someone to court. Let's ask. What's so difficult for you here? Editor. There's just some new path here that you don't know yet. Well, it's clearly karmic, connected with the eighth house of the horoscope. So, this human justice, this is the eighth house of the horoscope, where we are. Let's say we have shared finances now. Well, we had a child, damn it. There will be shared finances, whether you like it or not, right? So you have to pay. You got married, damn it. Well, you have a shared family budget anyway, as long as you live together in marriage. Whether you want it or not, whether he wants it or not, it's still joint property, you see. Everything you earn together during the marriage is joint property, everything acquired before the marriage. Well, of course, there are also different countries. There are some nuances. But in general, yes, the laws are pretty much the same everywhere to protect both sides. Some new path, new actions for you. They just say, a new path, some kind of renewal. Well, I'm not surprised. Actually, we're doing a reading, right? When there's an eclipse on the axis. So Virgo and Aquarius are about society, right? That's what Aquarius is. If we look at the house of Aquarius in general, it's about society, our goals, the fulfillment of our desires, grown children, other people's children, learning something within society, new technologies, innovations, updates. And what is Virgo? By the way, that's me, and I'll tell you about it now. I'm going to reveal a big secret to you now, because this is what really got to me the most. And also the fact that it's some kind of stress. There's a small crisis going on, but it's happening. So, about Virgo, I'll repeat it again. About Virgo. This is about everyday life, living conditions where we have assistance, meaning we have obligations to our assistants, and our assistants have purely human obligations to us. And you could even take those to court. Well, for example, a mother raised her child. She was a good parent, raised the child, And then the child sent her away somewhere, and then the mother can take action. And, well, of course, that's very unpleasant. And they will argue, and they will be angry with each other. But yes, it's true. You can file for alimony. That's right. That's all regulated by law. I'm not saying you have any problems with this. I mean, this kind of everyday stuff happens everywhere, even at work, maybe even with us. We owe someone something, yes, for something. We signed a contract. We are obligated to do it. It's something internal, like an intuition inside. So we have to do this for ourselves. We have to do it for our health, for example. We owe it to ourselves for our health. Thank you. That's it. To treat ourselves in a purely human way. Thank you. Well, we can too, after all. We have free will here. We can also choose not to treat ourselves in a purely human way. To clog up our bodies? To eat on the go? I don't know. To take on too many obligations. The same ones. And in crisis moments when we're unfair to ourselves, we take out this loan, then another, and another. And we keep dragging all of that onto ourselves. We can do that. We have free will, but karma, well, we are free to do whatever we want with ourselves, you know? But karma is such a thing. It works. Not knowing the laws, even human ones, doesn't free you from responsibility, so karma still catches up with you. Not knowing karmic laws either. Whether you get angry at yourself or not, it will still happen. Later, you'll be overwhelmed with responsibility, maybe ruin your intestines, your stomach. I don't know. You'll get tired, maybe hurt your back, all because you took on too much responsibility. Then you'll have to file for bankruptcy. Why blame society if I was unfair to myself, if I didn't tell myself the truth that I wouldn't be able to pay it back? Yes, for example, banks don't just give out loans for no reason. The banking system won't give a loan to someone if they shouldn't. Even if a person is left with nothing in life, they understand that he still won't be able to pay it back. So they only give loans to those who are solvent. There's a calculation system there, and you should be fair to yourself in the same way. But you also need to have a calculation system. By the way, speaking of you, your calculation system works very well, but there's still some stress, even if it's small. What kind of stress is it? I think you have a calculation system. Now, regarding yourself, things will change, and it has something to do with actions. It's human karma, really, and we're dealing with it karmically. Just study a new topic. Make sure, in general, I think, that you don't have this stress anymore. You still have some residual effects from the past. So, in general, you'll understand here. Your true motivation. I would say so, yes, your true motivation. So, for example, why am I putting such a burden on myself, whether it's fair or not? Whether this burden is excessive for me or not? Is it just to have a little bit of stress, or is it not excessive? I really can do it, and as one card Max said, here I really can, but the second card is completely unclear. Yeah, like a jester, all tied up in a straitjacket. Think about it. Do I need to do this or not? Will it be an excessive burden for me or not? Just imagine, if you take on an excessive burden for yourself, for a karmic eclipse cycle, for the next 18 years, you could break your back. Well, or even for half the cycle, for 9 years, or even for a year. It's hard to carry something excessive, yes, and everything is going in some new direction. And here you still can't make a decision based on the past. Well, apparently, something hasn't been fully studied, or something like that. Maybe there haven't been enough signs yet, but when they come, you already feel them before they arrive. But you are absolutely not under any illusions. Your logic is what saves you. You are not under any illusions at all. And for now, you can somehow rely on something. Maybe there isn't someone from your past by your side now. Someone you used to rely on. Someone older than you, or someone you knew a long time ago. And now you can only rely on yourself. And that causes stress. But I wanted to tell you, since we're uncovering secrets, Right here is a karmic chart, and the eighth house of the horoscope also shows that you are looking directly at it. A student studying the house of stress, justice, and fair treatment of oneself on some new path through new actions. That's how it sounds for you. How you approach the karmic corridor. Well, so you don't completely destroy yourself here. You see, a voodoo doll. Sorry, sometimes we are worse to ourselves than any enemies. And we scold ourselves, prick ourselves, and even stab ourselves with knives. We barely manage, and then we stick something else into ourselves, just so we have a thorn in our side, so we have to keep running. It's like everything is burning. Oh, stress, stress. Everything is on fire. Sometimes you have to do it, and we're always here, me and some kind of community that. You should read about the eighth house of the horoscope. What does it cover? Inheritance, ancestral, karmic programs, all inherited property, the property that you will pass on, and also what kind of inheritance I pass on, starting with habits. What kind of inheritance I pass on? Yes, I will pass on. Here are the actions, like how children, by the way, take things. They don't take what we lecture them about how to live, do they? They unconsciously see how we do things, and unconsciously do or repeat after us, or not very much. So emotionally, in the parent-child relationship, the child is a learner, and emotionally this causes stress, and the child just starts doing the complete opposite, but the scales tip, and then they do the exact opposite of us. And you also did the same, for example, just like your parent. It's unconscious. Unconsciously, you unconsciously take it. You just say, I like it, I like it. It's so cool, cool. And you unconsciously do it this way, not the way you were told. Well, over time, yes. Over time, yes. There's also analysis here. Yes, it comes from what was said and all the feelings. Well, the pentacle is already a residue. There's a bit of a leftover feeling. And you keep drilling it, like, what did I hear? What did I feel? What did I do? How did they do it? Here, higher powers are growing. You are being praised, and this is exactly the signification. You know that you are like this, and that you are. There have already been such stresses somewhere. Well, I think, let's ask, were there stresses? Back then? I'll tell you even more clearly. You might have unwisely tried to fulfill someone's wish and almost ruined yourself, but still, you were reborn like a phoenix. And the second option is you went somewhere out of pride. Well, because intellectual pride can also be here, like, I know better, do it the way I said back then. There might be a feeling of guilt here, and you no longer forbid yourself from acting that way, even though you want to, and that causes stress. Well, then that's also correct. Well, anything can happen. He says we don't have any angels here. There are no saints on earth after death. It's mostly a rare case when someone is even recognized as a saint among the living, right? No, there are no people without sin here. It's just that they lack experience. And there's no point in scolding yourself like that either. Maybe you think you're scolding yourself for something, but that's not allowed either. That's also pride. By the way, because judge not, lest you be judged, you are judging yourself. That means you've become so proud that you put yourself above God. But God is true love. He always loves us. Always. And we punish ourselves with karma. Karma through our actions or inactions. Inaction is also an action. We move in a different direction. It doesn't mean, by the way, that it's necessarily in a negative direction. Sometimes it's better not to do something. For example, not to drink, not to smoke, not to get into toxic relationships, to stop yourself in time, from a fight, from making an impulsive purchase. Inaction can also have very good consequences. It depends on how you look at it. We actually don't have anything purely human here. For us, everything is always black and white, meaning it's always harmonious, a bit of both. There's always both sides. So, where did you suffer here? Almost died, like a phoenix, always being reborn. Excellent. or family. This is found. They taught, it happens, for example, a girl started a family. I'm just giving an example, maybe not. Maybe you have something completely different. You just transfer it to another level with some kind of drinking, I don't know, illusory person, someone immature. And she says, well, I know how to live the right way. I truly love. And in the long run, he'll understand and we'll all be happy. The role of the rescuer, subtitles. For some reason, the family ended up suffering. Yeah, really. Maybe they did something with the family line, some kind of energy. Maybe they took on some adult responsibility. Maybe they gave birth. Well, maybe the circumstances just turned out that way, that you became too much of an adult. The head of the family. Yes, you suffered. I mean, since childhood, you had to deal with adult problems. Or, sometimes parents are like that too, when they put adult problems on a small child and want them to solve them. In the long run, you helped with something every day. Well, you did something, the key to paradise. You did something to make the whole family feel good. Even though a child shouldn't have to, right? Well, I don't know, to watch. To raise little brothers, sisters, or back when I was still going to school, and already having to go get a part-time job. Already working way too early. Well, things like giving money from the family. I don't know. Yeah. Especially in villages, by the way. This often happens when young parents, most importantly, decide to get cows or cats. I don't know, fields, vineyards there. I don't know, things like that. Early in the morning at 4 a.m., get up, and the child is, I don't know, about 7 or 8 years old. Run to milk the cow, then go to the hayfield, then to school, now run, take some to kindergarten, others to daycare, then pick them up, feed everyone. Yes. Well, that too. Well, often, or at the beginning of the 18th or 19th century, yes, it was like that. Well, I don't think there are 100-year-old people watching me there. Well, I'm just giving an example, speaking figuratively, but in villages, this probably still remains. And maybe in the city too, something like that. But I think it's more of a residual phenomenon now. Well, the card came up in the upright position. Here, you've learned your lesson, and now you can even teach others. You've developed some kind of new structure. Maybe the one who was supposed to be the head of the family was you. It doesn't necessarily have to be about your parents. Maybe, really, your husband was supposed to be the head of the family, but it was actually you. Of course, it depends on the person. I asked, where did you get hurt? Is it recorded, written down in the families? I'm asking a couple of workers. You weren't given something of your own, some kind of joy, some kind of hopeless situation? Well, maybe you were lectured, taught, criticized. To be continued. A person who did something right was criticized, 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 criticized. In the past, yes. In the past, it's already gone, so that's how it is. Well, now about this. So, were you more of a victim here at some point? A rescuer? Actually, I see you more as a rescuer. Someone who saved others. Then, when people started criticizing, apparently you felt like a victim. So how did you get out of that? Well, you stopped them. You stopped those who were dependent. Well, anyway, you got out of it with masculine energy. Or you got married, sorry, yes. You just got married and stopped it. Those critics who are always dependent, like little devils, criticizing. And you were left only with those who appreciate you. Or well, You took on the male role yourself. Like if you didn't get married and stayed single, you stayed in some normal roles. But here, maybe you took on the male role directly. I earned and bought everything myself. Criticize all you want. I don't care. I only talk to people who appreciate me. Well, you became an empress. But still, they say you're in harmonious energy here. Well, maybe at work you have to put on a mask. Of course, someone strong, career-oriented. Yes, that's what the card shows. But still, an empress. You've regained your resource, your strength. Well, yes, you've regained your resource. That's how it is. Someone wanted to use your resource. As I understand it, they criticized your worldview. I don't know. So now, in general, yes, your Cartman triangle played out strongly, even though the victim didn't actually appear there. Hmm. You can read more about the Cartman triangle, because it still causes you stress, you see. And under stress, you might make the wrong decision, which you later regret, and you'll have to deal with the consequences. So if you still feel like you need too much, you see, you came in as a rescuer. You bring some luck to people, but you need a little help so that this eighth house of the horoscope works out. Well, first of all, you have to tell yourself the truth. You can't just be like that. Basically, you need to admit to yourself your true motivation for why you're doing this. And whether you really need it or not, whether you're forcing yourself. Basically, truly. Maybe it's the truth, maybe it's some kind of lie, maybe some people are criticizing you again, or you're criticizing yourself inside for something, lying to yourself. Well, I don't know. Yeah, that's just how it is here. And the eighth house of the horoscope will help you. Again. So a bit later with the pentacles, it just showed that you are like a helper. Like a clover, you came to the clover. Well, first of all, the family system. This once again shows that you are now the head of the family, the person who knows how to behave correctly in the long term, so that in the family system you develop, well, as if you are already living in paradise. In general, here on Earth, you have the key to the wound. You can remove the key to hell from the ancestral teacher. And you are a society, wherever you are, some kind of crisis macro groups, so that you can go through this new path a little bit. Yes, to give, to share, well, I don't know, to help. Who has it worse than you? But here you always have to ask, is it really worse for them? Or did they just motivate me this way? Yes, is it really worse for them? That I owe them some kind of help, meaning they are manipulators and should handle things themselves. I mean, some kind of help. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a sick kitten, some kitten that's dying. I saved it. Yeah, or, well, I don't know, like helping someone who's in a crisis just once. Well, I don't know. My friend this year, well, it turns out, she's a Virgo, right on the Virgo-Pisces axis. She has dogs, so Pisces is something from the past. She has dogs, yes, and one of her dogs. Because of old age, she even had her joints replaced. Yes, and she could have not done it. But old age, she'll die, she'll die. Let her pain be. She gave it away. Yes, she replaced her eyes. Well, I mean, you can help like that too. Or maybe, if, well, I don't know, your mom got sick somewhere, to help your mom. Well, that's something that happened a long time ago. And here it's a little bit like you put something in here, and things open up for you. Maybe. And the way it sounds for you, there's a kind of secret hidden here. I mean, you're already doing everything right. But how do you get through this house of crises without being shaken? But if you are, let's say, very young, maybe your mom needs to contribute to the common pot. To give yes, for example, I'm a young person. It all depends on who you are. What is your current truth? Are you living with your parents and expected to contribute to household expenses? And then new paths will open up for you, opportunities to act. And moreover, fairly, and naturally, fairly, then you'll just have fewer crises. By the way, crises, illnesses, well, here, in the eighth house, they are literally illnesses, such life threatening illnesses. That is, for example, I got so sick that I could lose my job, for instance. That's when you help. Even just a little, and that's what matters. Well, I don't know. Maybe give a little to the church, or to children. I don't know. Maybe donate a little to an orphanage. It's always about giving just a little. Well, to learn, even just a little, something, then you get something. Well, that's also life energy right here. Evil is life energy, and life energy will flow. Well, here you always need to study, to weigh things. Whether it will be excessive for you, whether it is fair. You know also how others do it. Maybe the ideology still shows you, or rather, that's probably the case. This is the idea of a righteous life on earth, of justice. That's what it is. Directly. You were let down there, but you restored this idea, because you, as a messenger of higher powers by the clover, and that's it. That's the right way. And here's another card of ideas. You have a lot of ideas. Maybe you can share ideas. Some ideas about the right actions. What should be studied? It doesn't matter if it's about health, nutrition, or movement. Movement. How can you treat yourself fairly? Here on Earth, it's something like, I wouldn't say it's some kind of divine story. It's just about how to live on Earth so that you can be happy. You know, like, if you look at it in the long term, and here, on Earth, do something. In the long term, traditionally, tradition or habit. Here is the idea of some kind of habit. The idea of some kind of family tradition. By the way, at the very least, you are a teacher in your family, and this will continue to give you life energy. Well, let's say you might decide something for yourself right now. For example, some everyday thing about having the right attitude toward yourself. Well, for example, not smoking, not drinking, not eating something harmful that destroys your body in the long run. And I'll put myself in bondage there. Well, I won't be able to earn money. I won't be able to do something else. Yes, and then to someone else. Just a little bit, just a little, like a student to another student. But the main ideology in Arafant is, if someone imposed their ideology on you, remember, they imposed a painful, unhealthy ideology on you, which you rejected. Then you are in the right position. Don't impose Arafant. And people listen to Arafant when a student. Look, when a student comes up to Arafant and starts talking about justice, about the injustice of this world, or like, for example, even about food, yes, like, how is it that I eat little, but I still gain weight? And do you have the right answer? Like you need to count calories, for example? I'm not saying anything. Yes, there are certain laws, the laws of the human body, calculations, how much comes in, how many calories are spent per day. You can calculate them. Or like how much I work, but I still can't earn enough. For example, when you share your idea with someone, but only when they ask, not when you impose it. Otherwise, your heart will be broken again, and you'll feel ashamed afterward. Yes, but when a student comes up to you themselves and starts talking, it happens. Sometimes they don't ask directly, for example, about work. Work. There's never enough money. And you say, how should you treat things fairly so that, for example, there is always money in the family? But you need to make it a tradition, some kind of real tradition. And look, you are given real-life energy to get through this karmic eclipse, and you, both as a teacher and as a student, go through it here, meaning that on a new path, you might be given a teacher who has already gone through this path. We've uncovered such an interesting secret, and just think how much hidden knowledge is inside you, where you could even come up with some idea for those people who are in need and have come with a request. This is valuable and important for them, and it's something small, like, well, maybe giving someone a little bit of money, just a small amount. But then, to be fair, You know for sure that you won't be upset if they suddenly don't pay you back. Don't give it. Be fair to yourself and to others. What if the person suddenly has some unexpected situation and can't pay you back? You won't blame yourself thinking, why was I so stupid? Why did I give it? So only give others as much as you can. And if you can't give more, don't give an amount that's bigger than what you can emotionally handle losing. Tell this person to go to the 8th house of the horoscope. I mean, I can't be a banker. I just can't. Don't lie to others, and then they won't get offended. In general, that's the story here. Listen, it's actually quite interesting. And for that, of course, since you're here, you're the Empress. You have a lot of resources, and many people can demand resources from you as well. Any kind of resource, whether it's money, time, knowledge, or emotions. But you shouldn't give away your resources. Look, someone is always coming up, someone is saying something here, and she delegates authority, the Empress. She doesn't rush. She's like Mother Earth. Everything is always on time. On time. If you're little, then it's the right time for me to help you. But if you're already grown up, then it's not the right time to ask me. You're an adult, so I'm teaching you, and you're yelling that you're an adult. If you know what to do, then don't come here with your advice. But when you don't have enough money, you come to me, and that's not the right time anymore. I can teach you how to earn money, how to save it if you want. Yeah, well, that's basically how it is here, something like that. So you will also get through it resourcefully. You'll get through this whole story. And now let's ask. What don't you notice about yourself? Let's put it this way. So I've been on air for a long time already, right, girls? How long have I been streaming here? Well, about an hour. I started the stream a little earlier. Let's talk about you first. We just finished the signification, which I really enjoy doing. That's my story. And now let's do this. See, we've even uncovered a story here. How do you get through karmic eclipses? It's literally human karma. And human karma affects money, real estate, the physical body, health, basically everything on Earth. And we say, well, this is how you live as a human, or this is how you live as a human, or it's good to have this kind of health. This is the right timing, and that's the wrong timing. So this is how I look. This is the kind of Empress I am. This is my time. It has come. Here I am, like this. And that's all fine. Well, honor and justice, karma, good karma. I mean, even if I'm 90 years old, good karma. People respect me, appreciate me. And that's it. On time, everything is done the right way. So, good evening, Natalia. Just got back from work. Well, I was asked to shift it a little, especially on work days, to move it a bit. Even by 2 hours I was asked to move it. And I can see, yes, Natalia, it would actually be good for you if I moved it by 2 hours, but you still make it to the broadcast. I can see that. And maybe we will move it by 2 hours sometimes. The broadcasts are currently in test mode. That's why I'm saying it's very convenient for me. And I really like doing it right here. You know, you can hear me directly. It's not just for nothing. You release a video and then just read comments without even having time to respond. Yeah, I can't do it right away, but here I can reply to everyone. So where did you see it on the girl? I also want to make another suggestion. After the streams, I can do mini readings for you, like 2 to 3 cards for personal matters, kind of like a personal fortune telling. But honestly, the only thing is that in the chat, it will also be kind of like a lottery, you know, like a lottery. Whichever question I see, that's the one I'll answer. I can't answer all the questions at once in the chat. Well, whoever gets lucky, I'll answer them. Yes, for example, every evening after each stream, at the end of each stream, I can randomly, well, whoever gets lucky, so that no one feels left out, do it randomly. Yes, you don't get upset whether you win the lottery or not, right? Well, it just happened randomly. I'm not obligated, right, in theory, to do personal readings for everyone for free, am I? So I don't have that obligation. It's just my goodwill. I'll randomly choose, let's say, 3 people, and draw 3 cards for each. Yes, for your personal question, do you like this idea? Angelina, good day. All right, let me go ahead for now. My chat is lagging a bit. You're probably already answering, but my chat is delayed. I don't know why. I've already switched and reloaded and tried everything before this stream, but for some reason, my chat is still lagging a lot. Let me share for now what you might not notice here, and something was revealed to you. Some kind of secret was uncovered, right? So, you know a lot about yourself, but you don't notice this. So now, what is it that you don't notice about yourself and your surroundings? Let's do it this way. However the cards fall, that's how we'll take off to get more. You saw? It sounds like you don't notice that, first of all, well, we've already been told what you see, and more. You still have a logical mindset, but intuitively, you know that you have something behind you, like protection. You know this, but you don't know much about how strongly higher powers are protecting you. Although you receive a lot of karmic information, you can read karmic information about the planet and about people who are far away from you at a distance. Remember, at the beginning, it was shown that if difficulties started at home, you could sense it in advance, like, for example, that someone would get sick, or someone would have problems, or something would break. It's like this energy developed at home, and if your family members or someone who was at your home is away, you can feel them at a distance. Maybe you don't fully trust it yet, but you really do feel people at a distance. You can sense people. Just see how strongly. Well, and problems too. That's the dual nature. You have this kind of dual gift that you can also feel problems, just like joyful events. Or how can you reach joyful events through another problem? Equally, really equally, infinity. On one hand, equally, meaning 50%, and on the other hand, infinitely equally and a lot. Sometimes it's unbearable. Sometimes you feel like you can't handle it. You feel like you just can't handle it. Well, the higher power says you will handle it, because we are helping you handle it. That's right. Energy is coming to you right now, a stream of information. And I think you are reading much more. I am like a professional video, meaning I help you read the meaning of the arcana, but you are reading much more. That is, for each of you, in your mind. You see it like this. As Glyphorkinus shows, it unfolds much wider. For you, it's more personal. I give you a general overview, but inside you, your own clear personal understanding is formed. That's why, during general readings, you can read your personal information from the flow very well, and the more you think about it, the more it unfolds. But you also have a lot of premonitions arising, and you start to worry again that you won't be able to handle it. Right now, this thing is really heavy and emotional for you. The moon. Thank you. Also, this is a card of society, meaning that a lot of people are thinking about you. That is, you don't even know how many people are thinking about you. By the way, even more people are thinking about you, in a positive way. Thank you. Well, you only know partially, superficially, partially and superficially. Well, the card that came up here isn't very positive. Do you feel like people criticize you more often, or whisper behind your back? There really are people like that here. And you know them, and you're right. They do whisper about you. There's a lot of gossip, but since they only know surface details, they often say untrue things or make them up. There is some of that here, but this first card shows that people mostly say good things, and you tend to focus a bit too much on the negative. Maybe it's because you've had a lot of stress in your life. We learn from experience, and when there's a lot of stress, it can feel like it's always mixing everything up. That's why it seems like there are more bad people, or that people say worse things. But here, a higher power is present as we approach this eclipse corridor. And maybe, by the way, you feel like you won't be able to handle some things? That's a superficial opinion about yourself, just like that. A higher power is now saying, you're judging yourself superficially. You'll handle it, even though it's scary. That's it. So what else? What else? Oh, what's this? Is that you or someone else? It's someone else. Maybe. Or from your previous place of residence. From your previous job that you left. There were deceased people. Girls. Let's not do a separate reading for them. We'll do a spread for the deceased to keep things organized. Today, we're talking about the living. They really can. They're in a hurry to pass some information on to you, but they can't, so it only reaches you on the surface. Look again. This superficial information comes to you from the energy information field. You might have had some dreams as well. That's what they're saying here. But you don't really remember them, or you think you don't know how to interpret these dreams. Superficial knowledge prevents you from fully understanding. A dream is a message from that world. But you have helpers. They're telling you that if you change, higher powers will help you. Well, you'll simply be given helpers, someone who can interpret. For example, there are all sorts of dream books too. As helpers, the higher powers will send you the right one, and intuitively, you'll understand exactly what the dream meant. Or maybe you'll get a second helper. Yes. For example, I love reading about the deceased. I have a lot of deceased family members. I always talk to them. The first one was my grandfather, my most beloved man. My grandfather, he passed away very early. I suffered, yes, I suffered. It was just awful. And with him, I was always looking for conversations since childhood. So maybe that's why this gift of talking to the dead developed in this way. Let's read this separately. But here, it just doesn't reach you. You don't notice it. Like some kind of anger doesn't get to you from people from your previous place of residence, from your previous job, from those you've parted ways with. But this card of anger, aggression, doesn't reach you. But also, on the positive side, it's always 50-50. This card here, 50-50. And someone from your past wants to get in touch, but can't find you. That's also what this card could mean. But how would you know? Of course, you don't notice it. But this is the Knight of Swords. Yes, it's always 50-50. Someone is rushing, searching, or hurrying and can't find you. Maybe someone from your past wants to. Perhaps you were friends with neighbors, coworkers, or others. They want to meet, can't find you, lost you, lost you. Someone would like to know about you. Well, and in a positive way, but someone else is sending anger, and even magic, aggression, a curse. They don't reach you, you don't notice it either. But you need to know this. Right now. That's what the card said here. Let's reveal it. Well, not about the deceased, but about. So, which deck should I use? Well, let's use this deck again. Who is looking for you? Let's ask that. Well, a good person, wise, experiencing loneliness without you, thank you. Maybe the person is older than you. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean, a hermit. I mean, you can be a hermit since childhood. But they are experiencing loneliness. Maybe it's some old man, maybe as an option. So, do you want to say thank you? Well, I would like to know about your journey, how things worked out for you. Maybe if you managed to get a house or not, how you settled somewhere, how it went if you switched to another job. The Nine of Pentacles. How did you become independent? Maybe you got divorced from someone? How are you living now? And I'd like to know about the obstacles, about the difficulties, and also to share something about my own journey, to learn. Oh, and also something about some other people. Additionally, maybe to learn something about your children, about the family of the Ten of Pentacles. Or, for example, prospects at work. Are there any prospects or not? Maybe he'll get accepted for this job. Yes. Maybe you'll let me into this circle. But maybe that's not good. Right now, the person is also wondering where to earn money. I want to know how you manage things, maybe help with work, or maybe people in the Ten of Pentacles, or to talk about their family, to learn about yours, or, how to fit in. Again, like into a structure, so that we could see each other more often, meet up for some holidays, birthdays. That's also an option, maybe someone from your family, if there's someone you're not in touch with in your family. Because the Ten of Pentacles can show family there. Because he's an ex, he's watching, looking for you. Well, then he would have come up as the ex, but here the Hermit came up. A lonely person, well, a lonely person. Whether a woman or a man, it could be either. Into the Ten of Pentacles. He wants to bring you back into his structure, or return to your structure, to find out about your path, about your independence, like how you are without him, right? Or maybe at work, yes. Maybe you will accept, you can go, you can work, you have How does he feel about you? Let's find out. Oh, the second card fell on the floor somewhere. Just a moment, girls. The second card fell on the floor. Oh, what a force. Two major arcana cards fell on the floor. He treats you as strength, as a strong person. You made a decision about something. Maybe this person couldn't decide here. And as a bright person who leaves, who walks away from all these obstacles, the bad things, moves toward this sun, clarifies everything. Generally, being a bright and cheerful person makes you and life itself seem more cheerful. In general, they have a very good attitude toward you. And maybe you could even heal here. Maybe you have a healing effect. Like this card of strength, of health. Maybe you have a healthy relationship. Or maybe you know how to handle strength. Well, that could even be the case. Maybe someone was treated by you, or there was a person you helped with health advice. Yes, death and the power to be reborn, to start a new cycle and feel better. So, how do you relate to it, as to strength? You can inspire someone to do something, or help improve their health. Well, that's probably if you practice something, and someone treats you very well, like sunshine, they're drawn to you. There's someone from your past who's really drawn to you. Let's ask. Is there aggression coming your way and you don't notice it? Well, maybe you know, but you don't realize that this aggression doesn't go away when it gets close to you? Nothing passes by here. Nothing flies past. In general, yeah, nothing flies past. Look, a person swings from side to side. Sometimes they forget about you, then they remember, then they forget again. Well, now there are karmic inventions, and the past comes up too. Someone's anger and aggression have surfaced. You see, someone is throwing a knife, grabbing you by the throat. Maybe it's from the past. Maybe they're cursing you with all sorts of three-story curses. Well, it's just that the card is reversed. It doesn't reach, as they say, it doesn't reach, no matter where it's sent. Well, here there are periods like this. Sometimes calm, then aggression. Then you forget the calm, then aggression again. What else can they say about this? Maybe someone can break through here. Subtitles. Subtitles made by Dimatorzak. It's called Unstable. And some woman can talk about this person. Unstable aggression breaks through. And you can hear this through the mouth of some woman. Well, maybe she's just some friend, let's say, who saw someone, or some friend there is angry at you. Or maybe it's just information you might get somewhere. Maybe you'll get the information through tarot. This aggression breaks through sometimes in an unstable way. But in the end, it doesn't bring anything, that's all. It won't break through. Well, it's something unstable. Limited, and a person is also limited in their abilities. He gets hit financially for this here, by the way. It doesn't matter who's being aggressive or angry at you here. He gets hit financially. That's why, in these periods, you need to take care of financial matters or material things related to real estate, like paying for property, making payments, or handling some bills. And so this person forgets about you. Well, they're intentionally given material problems, so they forget about you and focus on their home, making money, and their health. I don't know, maybe to keep a safety net, to maintain some kind of stability. And then, apparently, it all comes back. I don't even know why. Something old resurfaces, and aggression appears, and they start cursing you. Well, the person is just greedy by nature. They're just showing a greedy person. Oh, well, someone who's troubled. Someone who's stuck in a painful story from the past. Well, he's only making things worse for himself. He's causing himself even more pain. By pouring it on. Don't judge others, yes, and you won't be judged, as they say. So, he's judging you for something. This person thinks you were unfair, and ends up receiving even more unfairness himself. Well, just from other people, yes. Others start saying, hey, pay your debt, or pay up, you need to do this, you need to do that, and so on. These people are bothering him now, and he needs to pay money, or fix something, or do something else. Basically, they are restoring this injustice towards you. Nothing reaches you, and it seems like nothing reaches that person either. He's stagnated, he doesn't understand. Basically, he's stuck in some painful old situation, a heavy karmic burden. He's carrying it, he's stagnated. It might be inherited. Maybe all the relatives are like this. It's hard. It's hard. The man is shown reversed. He says it's getting hard. Well, there's an emotional surge, an emotional drop, according to the moon. In negative emotions, well, it comes in waves. Basically, periods. Just like the moon is cyclical, so it doesn't quite reach here either. By the way, the person might have some kind of bad gift, or go to witches, maybe even cast the evil eye. Maybe they're just protecting you, or maybe it's you. Do you have it too? So, thank you, yeah. Okay, let's keep going. Thank you for not noticing that you should know something about yourself and others when it comes to alcohol. Well, do you have any plans or scheduled things to do? You reviewed them not so long ago, you reviewed them. They say that they will go well, but apparently you still don't know whether these plans for the future will actually happen. Here they say everything will go well, but you can't know that yet. They say you've been reconsidering some plans or financial investments, or something else recently. You have reviewed them, right? Well, something about a structure. Well, it's either about earning the Ten of Pentacles, plans regarding money, investments, distribution, or something about some kind of structure as well. Something was recently reviewed, rearranged, invested in. I don't know. Or maybe it's really about family, home, family, relatives. You were reviewing something, some relationships. With whom, when, to whom, how. Maybe someone needs to invest more in some structure right now. Something was being reviewed, redone. They say, well, it should be fine. There should be some kind of gradual structure. It will really come together slowly, but something will work out here too. Don't you notice that? And I have one more question. Is this only about your family? They say here it's 100% about your family. Uh-huh. Someone in your family is very proud of you, but you don't notice it. You'll notice it over time. Somehow you'll see it too. Eventually, someone is really proud of you and your magical abilities, or something like that. You can watch it again. You'll see. Yes, look, right in your family, someone understands you so well, is so proud of you. Just like that. Well, as an option, it could be a man. But here the Queen of Cups came up, and on the glyph of the arcana, it's a man. But the card itself is the Queen of Cups, who usually takes care of the family. It could be anyone you cared about in the Ten of Pentacles. But if you have a family, naturally, it will resonate with those who have a family. But the family is in the Ten of Pentacles. This includes all family members: grandmothers, grandfathers, mothers, fathers, even dogs, butterflies with cats, and friends you grew up with since childhood. Someone is really proud. I think most often it's family who are proud. Well, maybe friends too, of course, but that's less common. They're proud that they've gone such a long way with you. But still, I think here it's mostly family. Well, for the most part, it's family. A mother is proud of her child. Subtitles by Dedu Siska. Well, did the Empress just fall out? Or is your child really proud of you? Here, look. The child's mother, the Empress, everyone. Yes, excellent. Maybe even someone from the heavens is watching next to death. Well, some kind of transformation happened in my mind here. Well, in general, you know, and over time you will definitely find this out. This card also said it here. And you will even find out from the heavens, 100%. Exactly here. They talked about family, the 20th major arcana. These are the deceased. These are close people. In general, our loved ones. Sometimes friends also become like family. So if you have such friends, it's about them too. Maybe a woman with children, for example, is proud. Or an empress who holds some position. A position. There is some kind of status. Or you trust her. Just a person with status and resources. She might be proud. By the way, family back home. But that's the 20th major arcana. Your ancestors, the spirits of your family, have simply passed on to you that they are very proud of you. And here, even higher powers are proud of you too. Maybe you don't notice it, but over time you'll find out anyway. Well, listen, we'll all be in heaven. We'll all find this out eventually, but you just don't notice it. But, of course, it would be better if you did. Here among the 10 preacs, on this earthly map, you'll learn from the living here on Earth. You'll still find out all the cards of evidence. You'll find out about those you care about. The Queen of Cups, she cares. She makes various creative efforts to show her love, to show her care. That is, you'll find out here on Earth, and you'll find out in heaven, in general, ultimately. Well, and the higher powers are simply telling you, and the spirits of your ancestors are telling you, that they are very, very proud of you right now. And especially for the fact that you have reconsidered something. It's interesting what you have reconsidered. Some values or finances. Maybe you reconsidered your contacts, reconsidered some chances, reconsidered money, valuable people, value itself, self-worth. What does this mean to you? That you became a witch, that you became a leader, that maybe you protected someone valuable? Here, the child's mother is stopping something terrible. You stopped yourself, reconsidered your own value, didn't rush into something empty, into something, yes. In general, a leading witch, a knowledgeable woman, you could say, that is, a woman who knows how to get resources, how to obtain them. Well, of course, you're getting ahead of yourself a bit here. That's something the Queen of Wands tends to do, rushing forward. But maybe she has reconsidered her own value. I don't rush into the flames anymore, into something already burning. I don't do that now. In general, they see you as the Queen of Wands. They thank you for your past and for the time when you were a child. And, in general, they also appreciate you very much. They just want to say that some of your actions have changed a lot. Some values have changed. Your approach to creativity and to children has changed. From the past, and love from the past. A great love, I think, from the past. It's coming. This isn't wonderful, but you need to know this, apparently, so that you can go through the karmic corridor spiritually and karmically. You know, this card is really a hint, thank you. And a few more cards. Uh-huh. Well, a few more cards, let's have more. What do you need to know about yourself and your surroundings? Let's ask like this. If something repeats, that's it. We'll finish then. You only know about some of your gifts on the surface. You only know them superficially. There is a revelation happening. You are already being born into a new gift through some actions, like a star. Even you will become famous. You are being talked about. They just say, don't doubt yourself and don't let others. That's your environment, bring you down. To put empty doubts in your head. You just don't know this. In some actions, even small ones. Oh, by the way, here with kids too. But it will only resonate. For those who have children of your child, the gift may also open up. Sometimes it just happens, that's all. The one you gave birth to is on a new path. Don't doubt him. If there are children, don't doubt him. You don't know, you just don't know. And don't discourage. Don't discourage others. Maybe you shouldn't be discouraged either. There's no path. He doesn't consider you. Again, Hierophant is upright for you, but that's just how it is. Don't teach unless asked. A warning, that is, consider it when you're asked. That's already in the direct Hierophant. Otherwise, it will be pointless trouble. Well, that's only about children. That was the question. But in general, all of this is important. And there will be a sense of ease from this gift. So, and here the conversation turned to your circle as well. It's about friends. The card came up. Oh, your friends are suffering. There's a bit of a stream like that. This is a competitive struggle. Well, it will work out there. But what some losses are expected. Up to financial loss. I'm waiting for some friend. Well, it will work out there too. But through difficulties, through financial losses, maybe as well. Here they tell you, maybe you can even help. Yes, you can protect, you can give support, protect. That's if you have friends like that, whom you worry about. Pass it on. But that's only for those you worry about. To give them some support, an update, to ease your concern. I don't know how that sounds. Why are they telling you this now? I don't understand. So that you don't worry. Because if you truly love, you'll go through all the challenges together like this. Is it possible that this is a friend in love? Because the lover's card came up? But in that case, the friend here is not your husband. It's a friend in love. But if the friend in love is not your husband, then you'll go through all the challenges together. That's it. You'll just give support. That's also something like that. Well, That's your ability in both cases. Yes, if you love someone, if you have sincere feelings, you expand possibilities. You are a very peaceful person. You expand the ability to come to an agreement with anyone. You can talk, calm someone's soul, or really expand opportunities and perspectives even at a distance. It's all because making peace, reconciling, if you truly love, then that's your gift. Then, well, you are like a peacemaker in the world. You have the gift of a peacemaker. That's it. That's the answer for you. And what do you need to know? What is the main secret about you and your surroundings that you need to know? Well, I'm telling you, we revealed this secret at the very beginning. Thank you. How can you navigate karmic changes, especially since the eighth house in the horoscope is emphasized? Well, all right, anyway, if it gets duplicated, it gets duplicated. If not, we'll reveal another secret. What is the main secret here and now in your environment or about you that can be known? Thank you, you are the priestess. A whole huge number of secrets flow to you anyway, and the priestess says, know yourself, and you will know the whole world. First, I will reveal all the secrets and questions within myself, and you will understand everything around you. You are already a priestess. You have already learned to control your moon. Well, yes, you are on a new path. Again, there are some exciting stories. Create again, study them, and everything will be fine again. If you help yourself, study yourself, get to know yourself, then you will understand the whole world. People will come again, revealing to you secrets of a psychological or financial nature. In general, you are a high priestess. But if suddenly someone here is interested in the topic of love, just in case, girls, this is about you, and the high priestess doesn't just leave or walk away for no reason. And if a person has sincere feelings, then your gift can come to an agreement with any man. The most important thing is that he has sincere feelings for you, and if such a person doesn't come, it means he doesn't have sincere feelings for you. So dig deep inside yourself to find out why you suddenly attracted such a complete egoist. And then all the answers will be revealed to you. You will understand how not to worry at all about this person not being in your life. Do you see what the story is here? Figure yourself out. There are a huge number of tools for self-discovery, starting with straightforward psychology and also magic. There are many magical tools. Divination, forecasting, natal charts, astrology. There are so many of them. There are even metaphorical cards, where you don't have to be an astrologer, a tarot reader, or a psychologist. And fortune-telling is an ancient practice of witches. For example, I learned intuitive divination from Laurie Cabot, but psychologists have long since released metaphorical cards. You can buy them for yourself. Sorting things out and understanding yourself is called intuitive divination when done personally. Here, you intuitively look at the glyphs of the arcana, and even without knowing the meanings of the arcana, you do divination for yourself. And this card, this is what you need to know about yourself. You can intuitively predict for yourself. So, when you look at some professional projects, they give you the basic information, and the rest you already know how to do. In the same way, for example, if you get sick, you go to the doctor, get tested, you need the basic information, and then you know what to do. You understand, right? Know yourself. You might have a little bit. But here, if someone's health is involved, the diagnoses can be a bit unclear. So your intuitions are correct, but you don't have, let's say, a whole laboratory inside you. With your intuitions, you need to go, get all these tests done, analyze them, and then have them read by a scientist, someone who's qualified, who can interpret them for you. You got this information from the internet, or maybe from within yourself, trying to figure out what's going on. But only then will you get an accurate diagnosis. And if you're actually a doctor yourself, which I don't know, then you could bring people back from the ashes. Again, look, in your family, you could do the same with finances, or even restore health from the ashes. But first of all, you need to figure things out within yourself, because you can pick up information from the flow. Well, that's what the moon gives you, and the high priestess is knowledge. Learn more, study more, And all the secrets will be revealed to you. That's what we're talking about here. Secrets. And you can already unlock them, but with the help of something, with books, with knowledge, for those people who can unlock and decipher knowledge. So, as you kind of feel it. Today, this is the reading for you. Thank you for being with me today. I won't even pull a second card. 2 teachers came up for you. Thank you. Maybe you're going through some kind of interesting karmic transition? Thank you. Luckily, the 3rd major arcana card appeared. The transition is like the Wheel of Fortune, a lucky transition. Fortunately, a transition to a better understanding of yourself and those around you, to relief, to liberation from something. The answers have already been sown. This is how to interact with society as a therapist, how to interact with yourself, and then with society in the High Priestess. What is the transition for, and where is it leading for the whole cycle?